I have received my clarity. In my previous video, I shared about how I was going through a tough time. A time of confusion and uncertainty about what I wanted for my career, my business, and my immediate future. And now I have received clarity. And I wanted to share my experience and insights that came through for me to reach that clarity and the insights that have come through since then. I'm not lying when I say that for a few weeks, things felt pretty dark for me. As a person that lives life striving to always see the positive side of everything and normally lives a very happy, positive life, for the first time since I originally discovered personal development, I was really struggling with not knowing what I wanted. I was frustrated and scared, and I was feeling really low. I retreated from others and just wallowed in my own misery. And looking back, maybe that wasn't the healthiest thing to do, but maybe it was necessary to some extent. Because even being the positive person that I am, I understand the importance of emotions, good and bad, and the healing that comes from allowing yourself to fully feel your emotions and not block them. But on the flip side, I understand that only we have the power to change our mindset and our perspective on a situation and pull ourselves out of a dark place. And as much as it may have been beneficial for me to experience those lows and honor those negative feelings, it was even more important for me to get myself out of that negative headspace and realign myself by focusing on how I wanted to feel moving forward. And for me, that was to feel happy, positive, and like myself again. As I've mentioned before, nature is my happy place, and during that time, I retreated to nature to clear my head a lot, to allow clarity to come in. And one morning after going on my morning walk and doing my morning meditation, I had an intuitive hit about something that I had wanted to pursue, an idea that I hadn't let myself pursue because of uncertainty and fear. And that thing was to shift my content on this YouTube channel and create videos like the one you are watching now. And I had this idea weeks prior and didn't pursue it. And now it was coming up again. That's when I knew that this was the next move that I needed to make. This was the thing that I needed to do to get out of this mental funk that I was in. Upon further reflection, I realized that the only reason I hadn't started pursuing the path of creating these videos was because I allowed my logical mind to squash the idea before I even tried. I told myself things like changing my YouTube content was not a real business strategy change, and I questioned myself as to how making these videos would make sense with my current business. I told myself nobody would watch these videos or be interested in these videos. I allowed my logical mind to find all the reasons not to try to do it, which is a form of self-sabotage, which we are all guilty of from time to time. What holds us back from taking action is the fear of taking the action, which definitely plays a role in my situation. As a mindset mentor, I've come to learn that our minds are our most powerful tool. We can change our thoughts, our habits, our beliefs, our behaviors, all through the power of our minds. And although mindset work has been the catalyst for me being able to achieve incredible things in my life, it is also sometimes my biggest detriment that holds me back from taking action on things. Because my mind is so powerful, sometimes when I get those intuitive nudges to do something new or different, my logical mind takes over and questions it. That doesn't make sense. Why should I do that? What will that lead to? And it's this very questioning of those intuitive thoughts that stop us from pursuing them. Here's the thing. When it comes to intuition and getting those ideas that light you up and make you excited, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to actually pursue them. Because if we don't take action quick enough, our logical mind comes in and changes our mind. It convinces us not to do that thing. But the truth is, not needing to know the big picture plan and just taking action on those intuitive hits, no matter how small or unlogical or insignificant they may seem at the time, could be the action that leads to your next big breakthrough. Something that is key to understand is that a lot of the time, in fact, most of the time, our intuition is going to give us messages that don't logically make sense at that given time, because we aren't meant to understand the why yet. But it is important that we still take action on those intuitive nudges, because that is what will bring us to our next step of our personal journey and growth. Intuitive nudges are like the little breadcrumbs on a path, and we must collect each one to continue journeying down that path. So when you feel those little nudges to call a friend you haven't talked to in a while, or go to a certain store, or visit a park you have never been to, or listen to a song you haven't heard in years that randomly popped in your head, but you know it's going to make you feel good to do it, those are all intuitive hits that you would do yourself a favor following. And just know that they don't need to make sense in the moment. But they will come to make sense with time. Your only job is to listen and to follow them. It's all part of a greater plan. Another important lesson is that you don't need to have it all figured out before you make a move. The universe does not give you a blueprint for your entire life all at once. It gives you signs and messages, and you can choose to ignore them or to follow them. But for me, ignoring them, for example, this idea to pursue these YouTube videos, was leading me to feeling a lot of sadness, unfulfillment, and feeling uninspired. This inaction caused me to lose my spark. When I realized that I must follow through on this idea in order to feel happiness again, that's when that big dark cloud in my mind dissipated, and I was walking around my house again with a pep in my step, singing, dancing, feeling light and free again. This is Julia, I thought. This is me. I am back. The fact that I was resisting the change that needed to happen in my business and content was leading me to feeling badly, because when we outgrow a current version of ourselves and stop ourselves from evolving, it causes us to feel negatively. To overcome these bad feelings, I had to accept the change that wanted to desperately occur, that I had been resisting. And when I did, I felt so much relief, happiness, and freedom. As humans, we are meant to evolve and grow, and the worst thing that we can do is keep ourselves from doing that. It's such a natural thing. It's such a natural process. It's something that we all need to allow ourselves to do to grow and thrive. So if you're ever feeling like you're stuck or confused and having trouble finding your happiness, I encourage you to look inward and you will find the answers. It could be that, like me, the answer you were looking for had been delivered to you already, but you just didn't take action yet. Taking action, trying new things, doing the thing when you're scared, not worrying about what could go wrong. That's the mentality you need to have, and those are the actions that you need to take. Do it scared, do it uncertain, do it anyways. Because once you do, more and more clarity will just continue flowing in. You won't find clarity if you keep yourself standing still. Fast forward to now, to today. Even though I'm feeling like I am in such a better place than I was before taking that initial action step that my intuition was trying to make me take, I will be the first to tell you that when it comes to my business and my next steps and the big future plan, I do not have all of the answers yet. But an important part of that is that I've experienced a huge mindset shift around it. And that is that I am actually okay with that. I am actually happy with that. I am happy with not knowing. I have accepted that I am in an experimental phase of life right now and that I do not have all the answers, but I am taking action anyways, and that feels really good. I'm being open to the messages that will be coming through, knowing that action leads to clarity. I'm focusing on feeling good, being mindful, living in the present moment, and enjoying the journey. I am fully trusting that I am on the right path, the best path to get me to where I eventually want to be. When we can trust the process, trust our journey, and focus on finding joy along the way, that's when we know that we are on the right path, wherever it's going.